Hello everybody and welcome to virtual Silverstone International Raceway. We welcome you as the Daytona Motorsports 2011 Formula 1 season comes here for round number 4 of our season. And so far it's been stellar. The top of the practice session is now qualifying has just gotten underway with about 13.5 minutes left for some of the best drivers to attempt to take this pole. But it's been some of the trickiest conditions we've seen the whole season so far. It's only the 4th round, but a lot of drivers have been complaining about the grip levels, especially Midnight and some others. I spoke to Midnight during the practice and he said, someone please put rubber on the track. So as I take it, it doesn't sound like the track is very grippy yet, but it'll get better with time. But the main question is how much time it'll take, as we've only got 12 minutes, 12 and a half minutes or so left in this qualifying session. So it's right on board with Stella, who's got a McLaren in front of him. So lost a little bit of time there. Finally on board with Stella, the fastest man of practice. It was just gone wide. Some of the trickiest conditions we've had. And it's currently Midnight who's put down a 150 so far.
Arturo, sound test.
Yep. For that, but we will be getting live updates from race control as the race progresses. So still a lot of drivers still trying to get their tires warm and still trying to get those lap times in, optimizing their driving. And that's Midnight that goes to provisional pole with a 1:33.666. See what Stella
While it's qualifying, I'd like to take the time to say something about the conversation. Pepe said it's still dark. Arturo says shoot it then. So this is the signature moment here in DMS. I hope you have fun thinking about that one. Thank you.
So it's Stella that goes right to almost the top, and just as we say that, we have Eric Bede in what appears to be the Williams that goes to the top with a 1:33.30. 3.38. And now pulls it over. Looks to be headed towards the pit lane. Midnight currently right behind, right in front of the Mercedes. So he's currently about a tenth up on his last time. So obviously trying to improve as quick as he can with only about 10 minutes left in qualifying. It's been going wide there all session, and it's been costing him as he's currently lost 3/10. And Tioff got in the Mercedes. That puts it fourth so far in the results page, a 1:36.680. Nine and a half minutes left in qualifying. It's currently Eric Bede in the Williams, who is currently on pole. And Midnight in the pits looks to maybe be attempting to go on a new pair of tires and try and...
Pre-race note from race...
That was race control. Attempting to make a message. Back to the qualifying. Nobody yet to try and challenge Eric Bede. Now,
Sorry about that, guys. I was stupid a bit, but I'll say it in a second.
now the two contenders to keep an eye on so far are Midnight and Stella, both teammates in those Red Bulls. Currently been the fastest in practice, and a little bit of unexpected pace from Eric Bede. And generally the Williams team, who's now gone to the top of qualifying. But let's ride on board with Midnight, see what he can do. And it's not his lap yet, but just taking a look at how he approaches these sectors is super important. Super important on how you approach these corners. Stella currently out on track trying to take pole position for himself, as he did in practice. Oh, and that's Midnight that's just gone off the road. And so is Taigo is on the side of the racetrack. Just as I say, they looks like everybody's been having issues at the moment on the racetrack. So let's take a trip down to our midfield of the pack. It's currently Larry Amarin, who is looking to set his first fast time of the day. Currently only had a 1:52.406. I'm looking to improve on that. In the Toro Rosso. Oh, and he's just got the track a little bit. And as it stands right now, looks like the time there might stand. And no, it will not. That lap did not count. He did cut the track. Pay attention to Ryan at the moment, who is about a second up on his last lap. Excuse me, some technical issues there for a moment. But it's 8/10 improvement, and that's Stella that goes to the top. Takes provisional pole with 5 minutes left in qualifying. A 1:33.0 went purple in all sectors. And it's pace once again, outstanding pace from the Red Bulls once again. They're showing why they are the best team here in Silverstone. 4.5 minutes left in qualifying. Let's see if Midnight can join him on the front row. As it stands, it's all going to come down to where you start, where those lights go out. Midnight trying his best to start in the front row. Oh, and he's just gone on the curb and into the gravel trap. Unfortunate, pushing the absolute limit of these cars, and just unlucky there. And it's the pole man Stella who's currently trying to go a little bit faster through the fast section. 2/10 up in sector 2. Goes purple. Almost a half second up. Excuse me, no, yes, a half second up. Stella absolutely flying. You saying you said that you think that's all I had left in the car? Well, I'm gonna go 4/10 faster and essentially secure the pole that he's got. Great show of speed from the Red Bulls so far in qualifying. Only about a minute left, so as it stands right now, it doesn't look like there's much time for another lap. Midnight currently set to join his teammate on the front row. Also a half second up on his previous lap. Through the final sectors of the racetrack. And it's a full second for Midnight. But it doesn't look like the lap counted. So there must have been a incident off track. And it doesn't, seems to be the checkered flag for midnight, as he does not attempt to
Okay,
lap.
and cars inspected for telemetry after the race will be Belichian with Mercedes, Thiago with Ferrari, Eric Bede with Williams, Yafkata with Mercedes, Stella with Red Bull Racing, and Yuri Amorim with Toro Rosso.
And a word from race control, as we've now had telemetry on all of the DMS Formula One cars, and to clear up incidents. And it's the checkered flag. It's Stella that comes out with the pole, and it's Eric Betty right behind him. And actually, now as I'm saying that, Eric on another lap. I don't know if this will count.
Having connection
may have
issues, so
started
I
the
might
lap
disconnect a few
before.
times during the race, but I'll try and do something about it.
And it's 6/10 up going to be enough? It looks like it just might be. Eric Betty and the Williams goes to the top. Absolutely stellar performance when it mattered for Eric Betty. Takes pole position in Silverstone just when we thought he couldn't. And a great lap from him to take pole. And unfortunately, Stella not going to be starting from the first grid place when the lights go out. Only 5 minutes away from us. Now let's get ready to go racing soon. It's 5 lights on. And we're racing in Silverstone. And that's a great start for Midnight. He's going to go side by side with his teammate. The charge to turn 1. Eric in the Williams takes it away. Midnight takes to FP2. Trouble in the back. One car goes off the track. Oh, that's one car that spun. That's Stella that's gone around. And he's just gone together with the Toro Rosso. Stella's now got damage and Midnight's just pulled off the track. Big issues for the RB team, and it's Eric Bennett in the Williams that is just taken off. Stella's still stuck against that barrier. Absolute disaster so far for the Red Bull teams. And the race is going to be restarted. We're going to get ready to go racing again. 5 lights on. Lights go out once again. And it's once again a great start for Midnight, but that's Stella that's just spun it into the wall. Disaster for the RB driver once again. And it's Midnight down in 4th. Yafkata trying to fight off Stella in that Mercedes. Midnight around the outside. He's just been hit. Shuffling in the back. And I can't exactly tell you who he was hit by. Oh, but that's Lerai, who he's just tagged in the back. And another race restart. Let's try it again. Five lights on once again. Lights go back out again. It's a great start for Midnight. They stay 2 and 3 in the RBs. But here's the attack from Tygo. Oh, and the McLaren comes into the picture. Ferrari, that's a huge crash behind. That's Ryan, Tygo, and LeBron.
I'm not even going to comment on what happened there. I'm not.
Huge amount of wrecking in the back of the field. Stella currently trying to hunt down Eric Bede in the Williams. Right on board.
And I disconnect. Fuck.
He goes to the inside. Stella goes to the outside. Can he do it around the outside? They touch. They're both gone off the track. And that's better. They got turned around into the wall. And I can tell you right now, race control will 100% be looking at what happened there.
Restart, please.
Absolute chaos once again. First lap into the race, that's Eric Bede. That's already been spun into the barrier. He looks to the inside of the McLaren. Jumps across the curb. Looks to have almost kept that position. So now it's the McLaren that runs wide. It's currently Red Bull 1 and 2.
What the fuck is this, bro? Restart this. What the hell? Mate!
I already asked for them to restart.
Bro, Stella fucking killed me. Just restart this. Why?
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
fuck is happening?
I don't know.
Guys, if you don't do a clean lap, it's a red flag, so yeah. Meh, whatever.
We're gonna try again.
One clean lap, please. One clean lap.
Lights out. Here we go again in Silverstone. Midnight. And it's a fair start, not as good as there's been before. And that looks to be one of the Ferraris that's just gone around. That's
Not
Tygo.
again. Not again.
That's
Yellow
Tygo.
flag.
We're gonna try again. What can Eric better do to try and keep the lead? Great start for Midnight. He just got the car off the
the
line a little bit
fuck?
quicker. Here they come into turn one.
To the guys who already
He's
crashed
right
in the
behind
back,
his teammate.
I'm going to kill you.
There's the Mercedes of Tiefenbach. The German driver around the outside. Oh my gosh!
Sector 2 yellow flag.
And that's been a huge crash. I just saw the Williams fly over.
Sector 1 and 2 yellow.
Carnage on lap one.
Green flag.
And let's take a look at what happened there. It's currently Tiefenbach who's currently in second place. Midnight on that last podium spot.
Why does Arturo see crashes that I don't? How does he have this much time?
Zangolia's off the road. And that's mid. Oh, again, bro. Oh
Someone play the F1 Mexican theme song, please.
Man, just keep going.
and let's try
Ninth
again.
restart, I think, or something. I swear to God.
Green once again. Mega start from Stella. He's already taken the lead. What's Eric gonna try and do? The battle into turn one.
Sector 1 yellow
I think
flag.
it was once again Tygo who's gone off the road. And
Sector
around
1
goes one of
double
the
yellow flag.
Mercedes. And I just saw that in the corner of my eye. That's Tiefenbach. Off the road. Pepam. And a few other cars having trouble.
Green flag. By the way, Arturo is Tiefenbach, not Tiefenbach.
My bad. And Estelo's taking the lead by about a full second. And Eric Beddoes lost
And
the
they
lead
disconnect.
at the
What a good
start
game.
of the race. Diefenbach now in the pit lane. Stella's still out front. And it's a Red Bull sandwich with the Williams in the middle of it. Midnight, does he look to the inside? Not yet, but he got the Williams thinking that he would. And now he's right on his gearbox. Is he going to be able to do it with the slipstream? No, he doesn't. He looks to the outside. Back to the inside. He's not going to risk it, almost into the gearbox of that Williams. And he's going to have to build. He's going to have to close that gap once again. Eric Bennett currently having to deal with a Red Bull on his gearbox instead of the matter at hand of chasing Stella down for the race lead. Zangolio is off the
We
race
just
track.
almost had a Brazilian on Brazilian terrorism. Please don't. Sector 2 yellow flag.
Zangolers that's gone
Rip Bloody Chen.
off the road.
Green flag.
This is a shit show, mate. I won't lie. This is such a shit show. I don't care, mate. I am retired. Have fun racing, guys. It's too much of a shit show for me. I'm sorry.
Hey.
You don't
Okay.
say, mate.
Bro, restart this shit.
Nah.
For
Probably
like
not
the
gonna
10th time.
Yeah, okay, someone's fun. I'm not doing anything about that shit.
Still out in front. Let's take a look at the battle between these two. Midnight, who's been faster, but almost again gets into the back of that gearbox. It's right on board. What can the toe do here for Midnight? Going through a faster section of the racetrack. Midnight's still closing that gap. And it's almost every single time. He's gone to the back of that Williams a couple times before. And let's hope that he can hopefully make it count this time around. Riding on board. Fakes it around the outside. Does he go for the switchback? Right on the gearbox of that Williams, but he hasn't gotten dangerously close to it yet.
Sector 2 and 3 yellow flag.
Zangolia is off the road again. Side by side, here's Midnight around the outside. He's still cleared by Eric. And the Brazilian has done a wonderful job of keeping Midnight at bay. Can Midnight make it count there? He doesn't go it around the outside.
Green flag.
Eric Betty going wide. Midnight's there. On the outside, can he make it stick? Not yet. These two have been fighting all of this race. Here comes Midnight around the outside. They're side by side. So one person's going to have to back off. And Eric Bede is definitely going to be quite sweaty after this battle. Been working extremely hard to keep Midnight at bay. And he's been doing an absolutely wonderful job at that. Doesn't seem to be over. And he's been keeping Midnight behind him, but he's still losing so much time to Stella, who is currently 6 seconds ahead of everybody. And it's the fastest lap from Stella too. And it's Yevkatav's coming into the pits for the first time today. As that Mercedes into the pit lane on lap 5. And there's actually a disconnect. Unfortunate news for him. Unfortunately, the Mercedes having to retire. Riding on board once again with Midnight. And to say the least, he has not been able to make quick work of the Brazilian like he's done with the rest of the grid in Canada when he went from last to first. Listen to the roar of that Red Bull engine. Oh, and into the gearbox he goes!
Sector 3 yellow.
And it looked like it didn't seem to hurt Midnight. There might be damage on both of those cars now. However, Midnight actually lost time on Eric from that. Midnight trying to close that gap to Eric Betty once again. These two have been like Tom and Jerry the whole race. It's going to be a cat and mouse game to see who can try and take that last podium spot. Relatively early into the race, which could have explained why Midnight did back off a couple of times. Still trying to look at the big picture here, which is not something we've seen from a lot of drivers so far, especially on the first lap. So we've had to restart the race 8 times. Probably more. But we're not going to talk about that. Great sector from Midnight. Midnight trying to make the time up in the fast sectors, but everybody definitely had enough.
Again, nice.
He's had quite a bit of that attack from him. It's been quite the exciting fight from these two, but it looks like Midnight hasn't been able to catch him. Looks like it's fastest laps from Eric Bede. Midnight once again on the gearbox of the Williams machinery. And I said so many times he's tried to pass him that he must have learned something by now. Currently not looking at the inside nor outside. Seems to be pressuring him to try and make a mistake.
Midnight and Eric, I know you guys are racing closely, and I love that, but please stay safe. Thank you. And sector 2 yellow
like
flag.
mom.
Yeah.
Bro's mom.
Green flag.
8 laps in so far, but we've definitely covered more distance than 8 laps. They just haven't counted yet. Midnight's still trying to chase Eric down.
We need a fucking safety car. I can't drive to the seat like this.
Sector 2 yellow flag, and I can't do safety car because Midnight said no safety car, so yeah.
Fortunately, Tygo off the road.
Sector 1 yellow flag.
Midnight, once again, trying to do it around the outside. Car off the road ahead of him. We'll get to that in a minute. It's once again these two fighting.
Green flag.
Whoa, in a moment on the rear of that Red Bull machine. And Midnight just barely keeping that thing in traction. And just as I say that,
Abdul, I'm going to
unfortunately,
kill you.
Tygo disconnects. What did I do, bro?
Your car was blocking pit lane exit. Probably you turned the wheel and you didn't realize you were stupid a bit.
Yeah, it was quite funny. Cause like I couldn't see what my car was doing, so I just like hit it in the first gear and started going crazy. Midnight still trying to chase down Eric Bede. And it feels like pretty much the whole race, and that's Sangoli is once again off the track and into the pits.
And the racer to disconnect again because he has professional NISA internet.
Sangoli is disconnected. It's been an exciting one so far. Another car off the road. That's the Sauber that's gone into the grass, but seems to have gotten it back going again. Stella with a run on Eric again. But once again gets the door closed on him. See if he's in slipstream range. Doesn't look like anything can come from this. And that's unfortunately Pepe the McLaren, who's stuck in the middle of the road. Gets it rolling once again, though, in time.
Disconnect now.
Back on our leader, Stella is now coming to the pits and slapped some hard compound tires on that Red Bull machinery that's driven to the lead and stayed there for essentially the entire distance of the race that we've already covered. And it's now the second Red Bull that follows his teammate into the pit lane a couple laps
Francesco,
late.
blue flag, please let Eric pass. Thank you.
And it's once again Eric Betty who takes the lead of the race, but he hasn't made his pit stop yet. And it's now Red Bull 2-3 with a significant gap back to Ryan. Eric Petty now coming out of the pits. He's got Midnight right behind him. And that's unfortunately Pepe off the road. In that McLaren. See a significant gap from Eric to Midnight behind. Oh, and that's Midnight that's just spun it around. And that is a huge setback, as it's going to be extremely difficult to try and close a gap of that sort to Eric Bede. And he's also just spun his tires. Unfortunate happening for the Red Bull driver. And we're about halfway through the race now. And about will be in a minute. So as Stella crosses the line, we are now halfway into the race. Fastest lap from Stella, a 35.339. Very impressive pace from the Red Bull, who took the lead on the first lap of the race and seems to have pretty much kept it through the pit stop cycle, with Eric Bede 11 seconds behind. And it's once again a Red Bull sandwich with the Williams in the middle. It's been like that for the entire race. And we're halfway in with two cars a lap down.
Midnight, watch track limits, okay? Thanks.
And a warning to Midnight for track limits. And it's definitely been made apparent ever since pretty much the start of the race that he's definitely been pushing that Red Bull all over the track, even sometimes going outside of the track. So Midnight gonna have to watch how far he's taking that car outside of the white lines, because he's still trying to chase Eric Bede. Midnight on the limit of that Red Bull car, having a couple moments on the rear, thankfully being able to save that Red Bull machinery that's just been snapping all over the place today.
While we're getting this boring racing, some updates from the UEFA Champions League, not Champions Nations League. Netherlands will be going against Spain, Croatia will be going against France, Denmark will be going against Portugal, and Italy will be going against Germany.
That's cool.
Disconnect number 9522. Still boring racing, so let's talk about the UEFA Women's European Qualifiers. It's on Friday next week, so yeah. Ukraine, Belgium, Poland, Austria, Northern Ireland and Norway, Wales and Ireland, Scotland and Finland, and Portugal and Czechia will be playing.
Whoa, and that's our leader that's just spun off the road. Eric Betty now takes the lead. Midnight looks to maybe try and take second place, obviously the Red Bulls. Hopefully trying to prioritize catching back up to Eric Betty. And Stella, unfortunately, crumpled under the pressure. And it's no longer a Red Bull sandwich.
Sorry guys, I didn't see the moment where Stella spun, so please, Midnight and Eric, let Stella pass, because it's a race control error. Thank you.
Nossa,
Whoa, and that's the Toro Rosso that's gone around.
Sector 2 yellow flag.
And that's Eric too in the Williams.
Double yellow flag.
That's also seemed to maybe have been Stella. They got caught up with that. It's also the Sauber that's gone around of Diego Carlos. And looks like everybody just lost it on Silverstone. So now Ryan, who has to dive down into the pits, could possibly have damage. Midnight now, almost on the back of Bede. Looks to the inside a little bit there. But Eric Bailey has shown absolutely blazing pace today in Silverstone. Both not in practice, but he did show extreme pace in qualifying. Went to the pole, and he's been able to keep Midnight at bay a couple of times so far in the race. Midnight being a little extra precautious there. Did not send it down the inside.
Disconnect number 9521.
Eric Bailey, I almost say struggling in the slower sectors. Could Midnight get the run? Here it is. Midnight to the outside. Can he get it done on the outside? No, he doesn't. Eric goes wide. And Midnight does it for the lead. Midnight with an absolutely incredible switchback takes the lead of this race. And I think we saw some mostly clean racing, at least for the most part. It did look like Eric moved reactively. So race control may have to take a look at what happened there. But it's almost smooth sailing for Midnight, who's now got the lead of this race. Eric Bailey probably hoping to chase down the Red Bull. Because that was an outstanding battle for the lead that we just had a couple laps ago. Eric Bailey now about 9/10. He's about a second to Midnight. And it's been like that. I don't think that he's going to close the gap down in due time. And I actually don't think that we're going to see much from Stella for the rest of the race. Stella currently about 7 seconds to the Williams ahead. So it's definitely going to be difficult for him to close that gap, to say the least. A little bit over 6 laps left in the Grand Prix. It's currently smooth sailing for Midnight. He's taken the lead of the Silverstone Grand Prix.
In the first few corners, please watch track limits, guys. And I disconnect once again. Don't do a clean lap, it's red flag, so yeah, meh, whatever.
We're gonna.
Don't do a clean lap, it's red flag, so yeah, meh, whatever.
We're gonna try again.
One clean lap, please. One clean lap.
Lights out. Here we go again in Silverstone. Midnight. And it's a fair start, not as good as there's been before. And that looks to be one of the Ferraris that's just gonna round its
Not
Tygo.
again. Not again.
That's
Yellow
Tygo.
flag. Sector 1 yellow flag. Green flag. Thank you guys, I saw you watch track limits, so it's good. But take it like you did before, because it's mostly good. Thank you. Sector 1 yellow flag.
Hey.
I'm going to kill you.
There's a Mercedes of Tiefenbach.
Green
The
flag.
German driver around the outside. Oh my gosh!
Okay, midnight track limits again. You're on the second strike. Second strike. And Stella, you're on the second strike as well. Thank you, Pepe.
And it's the fastest lap from Stella, 1:34.7. And that should give him an additional point. Stella now coming onto the front straightaway to start the final lap of the race. So it's one more lap for Midnight, excuse me, as Midnight, to win this Grand Prix. And it's going to be blue flags from
Midnight, what track limit? What track
there you go,
limit?
Carlos.
Something you know.
And Midnight definitely has some breathing room to watch the track limits, about 3 seconds back to Eric Bede. And he's in the lead of the race on the last lap.
And Stella, this is your final warning for track limits. On the same corner all 3 times.
And it's Midnight in the Red Bull as he comes through the final sector one last time. And it's through the chicane. Checkered flag's out, and it's for Midnight and Red Bull. It takes the win in Silverstone.
And Midnight has taken the flag. Good job. Good job. Have fun, guys. Have